the more my brand grows, right? The bigger my name gets. Guys, I could literally, and look at all these people out there that have done it. I could literally start any business, and it's going to be that easy to reach that many people to get that business out there. If you look at Rick Ross, like he has all these wing stops. I mean, that's how easy it was for him. He just started that business. He invested in that. He already has a following that he's sending people there.
On my $1 million hustle. It's
the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, where we keep it real, I stated entrepreneurship wisdom. Learn to think like a millionaire and hustle like you're broke. Here's your host, Billy the Kid, aka Billionaire.
Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke. This free game to change your life, you better so. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke.
Really cultivate your attention, man, for sure. Billy's out of Lincoln, Nebraska, here with his family tonight, and I think Billy has some really, really good gems to share with everyone tonight. It'll be a little bit authentic, having that motivation to do and excel really well in real estate. So, without further ado, let's give it up for Billy Nino.
Yeah. Check. Thank you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. Jesus, you sound like you haven't ate. How's everybody doing tonight? There it goes. So me and Tyron spoke about 2 weeks ago, basically, and we decided to put this thing together just on the fly. I'm going to tell you guys my quick story, and then from there we could do some Q&As. So just so you guys know, those of you who don't know, I started off by doing music. This was literally during high school. I put myself out there, literally MySpace. I think I'm still out there on MySpace. That's how long it's been. I always forget that I was around that era too, but that's how I know I'm old. But I started putting myself out there with music, and at first it was definitely a hobby, but then when I started looking into it more, and you know, the first album was crazy to put together. I had to save a lot of money and do whatever I had to do, and you know, coming from nothing. I'm from El Salvador originally, those of you who don't know, and even with that, I mean, I always like to say I started from -100, not even at zero, right? Like, I literally no running water, no electricity, outhouse to go use the restroom. Sorry, I know some of you guys are eating, but it just literally, guys, from nothing. And I like to tell that part because I truly believe, like, if I'm doing what I'm doing, like, literally there's no excuse. We're literally in the greatest nation on earth. Like, there's so much opportunity out here, and unfortunately, most people don't take advantage of that. Those of you who are here know what's up, because you guys showed up. And matter of fact, showing up is also not even a thing anymore. You hear that all the time, like, oh, at least show up, right? But no, are you getting results? Which we'll talk about later. But so long story short, again, I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible with my story, but there's just so much life in between there. But when I started the music thing, that's where I started my first LLC with my record label. I actually signed to Universal, and that just didn't work out at all. They promised all this stuff like a label would, and how you would think they do. Yes, that is true. They promised me music videos and all this crazy stuff, and it was Universal. So I'm like, man. But there was a middleman in between, so it was that label that distributed through Universal. But anyways, so I had to learn on my own, basically, how can I make this record label pop, right? So I started New Era Music ENT LLC, and that thing, I talk about being uncomfortable. The book I wrote is The Power of Being Uncomfortable, and that's literally the first step that I took, where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna jump in and see what happens. And sure enough, I learned how to do taxes, accounting, all the legal stuff that you have to worry about, right? I was throwing events, so then I had to worry about insurance and all that other crap that comes with it. But one thing definitely that I learned, guys, was putting myself out there. And it's funny because you fast forward, and I truly mean it. Like, this was back in MySpace, and even before MySpace was a thing. Like, I had flyers, you know, and all this stuff. I call it marketing guerrilla paraphernalia is what I call it. All these flyers and all this stuff. Like, I take it back to the old days where literally I used to put flyers in cars with music. So that's the kind of the era that I come from. And then as soon as the music went more digital, I had to figure out a way, okay, so now I have to make money digitally, right? And I bring that up because that is the reason why I stayed with social media. And I want to talk about social media as kind of like the theme that we want to talk about, but it's beyond that. A lot of people think it's just posting and, you know, whenever you're taking a shit, sorry, like you're going to post like every single second. No, that's not how it works. But you do want to build trust. And what I mean by trust is, for example, a meal, for example. You post a meal in your story or wherever it is that you're doing your stuff on. People that, and I know there's a lot of great people here that raise capital, and you know that's how you build trust, guys. That's what you want to do is whenever people see, oh my God, you know, and the most important thing is being authentic, which we're gonna get to, but it's as simple as posting your favorite or a meal that you're eating. And somebody might see that and be like, hey, you know what, I related to that. So then all of a sudden you got somebody that's following you because of that meal. And that can lead to a deal later down the road, guys. So that's how simple it is. But besides the music stuff, just so you guys could kind of, those of you who don't know my story, from there I kind of copied and pasted. And then I opened a business. I'm a contractor as well in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's New Era Construction. So again, we have New Era Music, New Era Construction, and then guess what I named my real estate company? New Era Real I like that. That might be one of those hidden LLCs I might start. But of course, New Era Real Estate LLC, and that's one thing. Don't overthink. It's the same with social media. Some people overthink stuff like, oh, well, what if it's not good enough, or the name is not catchy, or the brand, or what? Like, you guys are worrying about the wrong thing. I want you guys to do some homework after this and go look up Grant Cardone's video, when, like, his very first video. You could actually YouTube it that way, and you're gonna laugh at everything in that video. But you know what? Where he's at now, there's nothing to laugh about, right? So. Literally, I want you guys to do that later. But every single business, guys, that I own, literally, I've started off of social media. Like, literally, my construction company, besides the obvious of word of mouth and, you know, people talking about it, social media, guys. Like, I to this day, we're still posting videos on our pages. Sometimes you might feel like nobody's watching. It definitely feels lonely, but it's lonely at the top anyways. But it's funny because every single time that I'm out and about with my family, I brought my family tonight, definitely family, and that's my first, we'll call it business. I'm a dad first, a husband first. But every time I'm out and about, it's funny because there's people that will like, oh, hey, I saw that you purchased this, blah, 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 right? Or I saw that you're doing this. And it's funny to me because I'm like, oh, well, that's weird because we haven't even talked on social media, right, quote unquote. So people are watching. Again, don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about all this other crap that you hear. People are watching. And guys, it's literally like the cheapest way to put yourself out there in whatever business. Trust me, like, it's the easiest money I've ever made. And to this day, that's really my number one thing that I do with all my businesses, whether it's my music, again, real estate, construction, social media, guys. You just have, nowadays, unfortunately, you just have to be. It's funny, I also, another thing I hear, you know, people that are a little old school, like, oh, you know, social media is not my thing. That's just not me, right? But, and it's like, I'm running a real business out here, right? You know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, you're running your business to the ground if you're not on social media. Like, that's just the reality nowadays. And, you know, you have, the thing is, you have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these other stuff. Another question I get all the time is, well, should I just focus on one area, right? Should I just do Instagram? Should I just do YouTube? Should I do Facebook? Do them all, guys. Google likes all. Like, whenever people look up your name, that's the easiest thing to do, is where to find you. That, like, I get that all the time. Like, people ask that all the time. But the point is, no matter what you do, guys, on social media, be authentic. Like that's the number one thing. And actually, me and Tyron was just talking about it. The reason why I like him is because he's authentic. He's just being himself. Like the conversations I've shared with him, we've had cigars in the past. Like every single time is authentic. He'll tell me straight up, hey, you know what? This is where I don't feel comfortable doing it, but I'm gonna do it. Same with me, and that's being authentic. There's so many people nowadays, guys, on social media or all these other, it's funny. You have to keep it real. Like that's the other thing. Keep it real when you post. It's so easy to become a different persona on social media. Matter of fact, I'm gonna lay it out flat. This is how it's funny because I feel like I hear this sometimes where people look at me like, oh, he just puts himself out there and he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that. They're talking about me. You want to be the loudest, you basically, like Grant Cardone said it best. He said, best known beats best. And I mean, think about that. Best known beats best. So I'm not the best contractor, guys, right? But guess what? I'm making money. I'm not the best podcaster, but I'm making noise somehow in the podcast world. Not to like brag or anything, but maybe a little bit. But I just had like Brandon Turner on there. If you guys follow him on my podcast, it's called $1 Million Hustle, which I'll touch a little bit about that. Carlos Reyes was just on it. If you follow him, Steve Trang from Real Estate Disruptors, all these different names, guys. And I'm just this like Lincoln boy from Nebraska that people still ask me like, hey, is there buildings in Nebraska? And it's like, yeah, there is, man. We have buildings, we have real estate out there. Duh, right? Ta-da, I'm here. But all those things, guys, didn't come from anywhere else but social media. Like literally, I try to go back. Like, okay, how did this deal come about? Almost 80-90% of the stuff that I'm doing, guys, whether it's any of those businesses, come from social media. Like that's how important it is. Yes, sir.
So when you talk about being authentic in the social media space, because that's where you started, obviously, and you was able to grow everything that you've started up to this point. How did you feel getting started in that space without feeling like you had to be a Grant Cardone to get that same attention, or trying to be that Steve Trang or this other guy that's getting all these views, whatever the case is?
Guiding you a little bit or some experience, right, until you make that next level. I was talking to Hal right now a little bit about, I'm looking at this 9plex, and he was telling me about his deals, and it's just funny because you don't want to do more than what you can handle, and especially people do that for social media. They think, oh, I'm going to post about this and make this noise. They're worried about the wrong thing. What I do, guys, is I am in the dark. I am working in the dark, and that shit brings noise. Like, no matter what. All I'm worried about is, am I being a good dad to them, a good husband? Am I helping the community out enough? Those are the things that I'm worried about. And from that, guys, you make noise. So you have to ignore that noise at all times. I can't stress that enough. I hear that all the time. People want to be up here with this noise, and it doesn't work that way. You have to just worry about the little stuff, and that noise comes.
So, and if anybody has any questions, just let me know. I'll bring the mic. But so when you talk about being authentic in social media to grow your business and whatever aspect it is, did you have a goal in mind with social media? Or are you trying to be the biggest, well-known guy out there? What is it like? How should someone structure a goal? Because I think a lot of people don't even know how to measure social media and returns from social media. Obviously, other than likes and things like that. But what would you say? How should someone structure a goal?
Yeah, no,
down to making posts a day or post a week or whatever the case is,
Yeah, that's a great question, Tyron. So yes, you just like any other thing that you do, you have to have goals in social media. So, I remember, and I'll use my Instagram for example. I remember when I wanted the first 1,000 followers, right? So that was my goal. And then from there, it went, and I think this goes with anything. Even if you're in real estate, construction, like any other business, you have to start with the smaller goals. And guys, once you start hitting those goals, just like anything else, it snowballs. And so, yes, great question. 1,000, and then I think from there I was like, ooh, I got 2,000-3,000. Let me go for the next one, which is 10,000. And then from 10,000 it went to 25,000, and then from there, 50,000, and then I've been my next goal. Right now I'm like, and again, this is just Instagram. I think I'm like 97 or something, 98,000. So of course my goal right now is that 100,000. That's where I want to get. But it does become easier, just like anything, guys. That first house that you bought. Or that first piece of real estate, that first whatever flip or rental that you kept, it was different, right? Like it's uncomfortable. You don't know that. You don't know basically it's unknown. You have no idea what the hell's gonna happen after that. So it's the same with social media. Get those goals in there, and then slowly, once you make it to that 10,000 followers or whatever, then you're gonna find, okay, this worked. Like I'm using hashtags, or everything I do is strategic. Like it's funny, guys. This is, I'll share this with you guys, and it's publicly, I don't care, because again, you have to keep it real. My wife is pregnant right now, and and thank you. But guess who doesn't know? Social media. I don't give a shit if people on social media know if my wife is pregnant. Matter of fact, I barely share. I share enough, but I'm not like sitting there like, oh, my daughter just graduated, or she did this, so I'm gonna like that's that noise that we talked about earlier. Don't worry about that noise, guys. It's funny, even close friends are like, what, when are you gonna make it official on Facebook? And it's like, what? Like it's pretty official in our life now. Like we're happy. And I think that's being authentic. People are worried about, oh my God, this is gonna create this noise if I post about this one thing that I did, or I bought this, or no, you're worried about the wrong thing. Again, work on yourself, and the noise will make itself. So, but yeah, have goals. Just like in any other business, always have goals.
So to you, man, what's the benefit of having 100,000 followers? Because I know your goals would be different from my goals or anyone else's goals in here, but I'm sure there's that one person in here that's like, I love Grant Cardone and I want to have 1 million followers, because maybe it's the purpose of raising capital, maybe it's the purpose of just continue to get your brand out there so you can open up other avenues. What's the benefit for you for having those followers?
Everything. Like I said, it's funny, I was also on Bigger Pockets, and it's episode 542. For some reason, you always remember that. Once you're on Bigger Pockets, you remember what episode. And it's funny because that was one of the things that Brandon Turner actually spoke about, in that he brought it up. He's like, oh, you're this Instagram celebrity, I think is what he called me, or something like that. But again, if it wasn't for social media, I don't think he would have ever seen who I was. Again, just this Lincoln guy from Nebraska, just a regular guy, really, and just putting himself out there. But I think, like literally, I always go back, and like everything that I've done, it just goes back to social media. Matter of fact, that's how me and Brendan Turner spoke, was through social media. Like we messaged each other, we talked, and he invited me to the podcast that way. So you just never know, guys. And I'm sure you guys have heard that expression that you're always like 4 people away from that person that's going to change your life, and not just change your life, but from a partnership. It doesn't have to be this massive thing or anything, but that is so true, guys. And social media, I mean, again, if that saying is true, I have close to 100,000 followers that are out there making that statement true for me. So. And I'll continue. If you guys have any questions, like, please ask. You guys let me know. But
so I guess following you right here, man, is interesting to me, because I'm, contrary to actually putting these things on, I'm actually kind of a shy dude. Like I don't always want to put myself on the forefront. But I'm assuming what your followers, it's not even about, for you, it's not about how many people you can reach and all this other stuff. You just enjoy doing social media. It sounds like that's
exactly.
So if you weren't doing real estate or construction, you would do something in marketing.
Exactly. And that's a great point, because on my mastermind we always talk about kind of doing what you love, and really what I love is sales and marketing. So you could put me in any, and actually you could start any business, and that's probably the most important thing, especially at the beginning. If you're trying to get it off the mud, right? If you're trying to get it off the ground just to get it going, you have to have marketing and sales. And literally, yeah. So as of right now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the crazy thing is the more my brand grows, right? The bigger my name gets, guys. I could literally, and look at all these people out there that have done it. I could literally start any business, and it's going to be that easy to reach that many people to get that business out there. If you look at Rick Ross, like he has all these wing stops. I mean, that's how easy it was for him. He just started that business. He invested in that. He already has a following that he's sending people there, right? And it literally, and guys, the crazy thing is, another question that I get asked a lot sometimes, like, oh, well, how do you wear all these hats, right? Because I am a contractor. I'm still physically still doing the estimates in Lincoln. I'm definitely doing it. I do have my team also doing it as well. There's a couple guys that I have, right, working full-time, or my crews even just subcontracting. But I will not let that go for now. Again, do what you love. Who cares? Because you hear all the time, oh, have these systems, and you shouldn't be working in your business. I love marketing and sales. I love putting myself out there. So that's what I'm keeping in my construction business. That's what I'm keeping in the real estate. That's what I'm keeping in the music, and just in general. I mean, even music, guys, like there's stuff I don't like. Like, for example, mixing and mastering. After I record a song, I pay somebody to do it. I don't sit there and mix and master just because I love doing music. I don't like the whole process of it, right? Like there's certain things, just like in any business, real estate. At first I started painting, doing flooring. Now that's my least thing I want to do is go over there and put some paint and flooring. But I'll do it obviously if I have to. You got to do what you got to do. But the point is, I'm gonna put it to you this way. There's times, guys, that somebody will call, hey, I need a driveway, right, for example, and I end up selling them a book. We don't even talk about the concrete that they wanted. We're over there talking about some other stuff, social media, and then they look me up, and all of a sudden, guys, they bought my book, they signed up for my email list, they did all this stuff. The thing is, guys, that, remember when I was saying, like, don't worry about those likes and all that? There's real people out there, guys, and here's the thing. We all want something to come out right away. Like if I meet Tyron, tomorrow we gotta buy a 90-unit apartment together, right? Like it doesn't happen like that. It takes time. But the seeds have been planted. So even the people that bought my book because they called me for a driveway, again, I'm just being myself, and that's why people buy it. On the book, guess what? Do I talk about contracting? Yeah, because that's my story. I can't fake that. Like that's just me. I'm not. It's funny. If those of you who are familiar with like hip hop, Slim Thug actually owns a construction company in Houston. And the point that I'm making is it doesn't matter. If anything, I look at that as I'm like, man, that's inspirational right there, right? And he'll post videos sometimes of his construction company again because it's that easy now that you have that following. Guys, like it's funny. Back in the day, the guy that helped me out a lot from the beginning with my music. One of the things he said was, hey, just make a name for yourself, and at the end, once you make it and you make some noise, again, that noise, you could fart on a beat and it's gonna sell. And think about that. It's so true. You could fart on a beat and it's gonna sell. So meaning and that's in every business. Any business that you do, literally, you could, once your name is out there and people trust you, and that's the thing, guys, like I can't stress that enough. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna post every single thing that I do. No, you have to be yourself, because I know a lot of people, guys, that did it the wrong way, and they were so worried about what Tyron thought about me, what those of you who are here, they were so worried about making noise so you could think I'm cool, that they ended up screwing up their marriage at home. They ended up losing that duplex that they bought just to be cool. like worry about yourself. Like be yourself, be authentic. Also consistency, guys. I can't stress that enough. My podcast every other Monday, it is going out. Whether it's me by myself talking, if I have to do it, because I'm worried about consistency. People will visit my YouTube channel, just like any other channel, guys. I know Rico a few years ago, and I actually wrote about it in my book, but I remember thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to carry that big old camera. I want to do a music video in Puerto Rico. And of course, my wife, she's always like, here we go again. Like, here's Billy with his next idea, right? Like, and of course, has my back. She's as you can see, she's behind the camera right now, making sure that it's recording. But it's funny because in Puerto Rico, we snuck out for, guys, like in 15, 20 minutes. And then throughout the trip, I would take little clips here and there. But we didn't want to take the camera with us. We're like, well, you know what? It was my birthday, and she asked me, what do you want? I'm like, I want to do a music video in Puerto Rico. All right, well, let's do that. I did it, guys, on my iPhone. I did it on my iPhone. And matter of fact, I also did, I'm a Raiders fan, whatever, I don't want to hear it. And I actually also did a music video in Vegas on my phone. You watch that thing. Maybe now that I told you, you might be looking for the imperfections in that video, but you watch that thing, guys, and it's just a video on YouTube that, and matter of fact, it's paying me okay, you know, maybe not the actual video, but the actual streams and all that, you know, Spotify and all that. That song has paid me well. I didn't overthink it, and then I think I did another music video in Florida, and then there's a fourth one, but it was all on my iPhone. Matter of fact, it was also edited on my iPhone. Like, I didn't even take the footage to a laptop or anything. Matter of fact, guys, my wife is gonna laugh at this. She made me buy my first laptop like 2 years ago, like a year ago maybe. Like, she literally made me because I was so used to doing everything on my phone. Like, that's the power of this smartphone, guys. Like, and matter of fact, like, I brought my laptop tonight for no reason. Like, I'm not using it at all. But it's just funny because people overthink it, guys. Boom, this is it. Hey guys, I'm me myself, here's where I'm at. What's up? That's how simple it is.
Yo, we'll be right back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle Podcast. Before we continue, I want you to go grab a copy of my book, The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It is out on Amazon, it is out on Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, Target.com, and everywhere else books are available. The great news, guys, is you could go to BillyTheKid.com and grab an autographed copy. That is right. I'm going to mail you an autographed copy right now. Audiobook is also available on Audible and everywhere else audiobooks are available. So go listen to it, go grab yourself an autographed copy, and I'll see you on the other side, baby. And now back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle Podcast.
Unless you guys have questions, any questions so far or anything?
Can you talk about your mastermind group that you have?
Yes, of course. I will brag about my guys, man, and ladies, because so the book that I wrote is called The Power of Being Uncomfortable, and so the mastermind is called Get Uncomfortable Mastermind. Matter of fact, actually, it's so funny. Every person that joins and beyond, part of that Get Uncomfortable Mastermind is you have to post a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And guys, like, every time I go back to like the guys' first video when they first joined, I'm just like, oh my God, but they did it. Shout out to all the guys, man. They're doing like great things. But guys, now, and I'll be honest with you, I have a range in there from a 21-year-old all the way to a 61-year-old in this group. And the 61-year-old is probably posting more videos than even, maybe even me. Like, he might be posting more videos than me. But that's the point of this, guys, is we put ourselves out there. We get out of this box. And here's the thing. If you're able to conquer yourself by posting a video that maybe you're not even used to, think about how much more you could conquer. And guys, it's the same, like, whenever you do partnerships, you do deals with people, it's kind of the same thing. You're talking, maybe you're strangers, maybe, which you probably shouldn't do partnerships with a stranger. I've had my share of those partnerships. But you probably want to get to know them a little more. But the point is, like, the conversation that you guys have is like, it comes from that, right? From like the being authentic and keeping it real and being yourself. Like, it's the same thing, guys, on social media. Like, just hit record and do it. So Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays, you have to post a video. We meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. So tomorrow we're meeting, and we do it through Zoom. So, like, I have a guy in Chicago. There's some Omaha, Lincoln, like, literally. And again, guess what? Social media, guys. And the nice thing, guys, is with this mastermind is that, yes, we worried about the little things. Again, because why? When you do those little things is when you make noise, right? So guess what? Like some of the guys in there, guys, I've had a guy that, and granted, these stories that I'm going to share with you, and you could go to my YouTube. Here I am, Mr. Social Media Guy. Go to my YouTube, and you could watch these videos of them giving you this testimonials. But I've had guys in there, guys, and because I do one-on-one coaching too, I'm kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm kind of liking just the group thing that we got going on every Thursday we meet, and on YouTube you could check it out. But these guys, I mean, I have a guy that started doing those videos, and then now he's had people offer him capital. He's had people, he bought a few deals off of social media. Like that's the power of this. And also, if you get more specific, he's, now he owns a few more rentals. He's done a couple flips just off of the mastermind that I've done. Because again, guys, I'm not worried about this noise. I'm not sitting here promising you, hey, you're going to get on this mastermind and all this is going to happen. If you do that, here's the thing. Are you drinking your water? Because we have goals, for example. Every 30 days, every member has to give us a personal goal and a business goal. Okay, what's your goal for May? So then we keep you accountable for meeting. And guys, it's literally the little things. I'm not worried about, hey, are you going to buy a 90-plex, right? Like, no, I'm worried about, did you drink water every single day for the 30 days this month that you promised yourself? Guess what? If you do that, all that noise comes. And that's what I mean is do the little things, guys. Do the things that matter. Did I, like, for example, with me, one of the things I post on my social media, and you could actually, well, today was my day off, but Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, you will watch a video of me running, whether it's showing my dogs, me running with my dogs, or just me showing my feet. But if I'm showing my feet, I have one of my songs playing with a link. Hey, go check out my music. Or, hey, I just released my new podcast. Like, there's some kind of promotion going. I'm not just sitting there wasting my time. So, and that's where you guys need to get. And again, guys, even if you have that, again, I just told you, there's people in my mastermind that didn't even know this was a thing, and all of a sudden they're getting deals and all this other stuff. There's people in there that they're on their way to making their company $1 million company this year. And they joined a year ago, but this year that's one of their goals. We started doing one-on-ones, and that's the other thing, guys. When you're authentic. It also applies to who you surround yourself with. That's extremely important. It goes along with everything. You don't want to hang out. It's funny. Ego and there's experience, and those are two different things. Ego, experience, and always watch for that with the people that in real estate or any business. Again, because there's a lot of people that will be speaking from that noise, and guess what's speaking? Their ego. It's not experience. It's their ego talking. And guys, if somebody tells me how good they are and they know it all, I do not want to be around that person, because I always want to be the dumbest in the room, right? And you've heard that before, but especially when I know it's their ego talking. If they're telling me how good their social media is, or man, like, hey guys, and let me back up. Did you guys hear what I said earlier? I'm not the best podcaster. So it goes along with that. I'm always, and what is that called? Is growth mindset. That's all. You always have to have a growth mindset where you're never gonna be as best as you can be. And levels of thinking or levels of the mindset is kind of like where I'm heading with this next book. I have like 10 books in my head, by the way. It might change next month, but the point is, there's this level that, like, we'll call it perfect thinking, where just listen to these names. Kobe, Tom Brady, they haven't even reached that level. Nobody will ever reach that, meaning there's always room for growth. There's always room for growth. So if you ever hear somebody telling you how good they are and all this great stuff that they're doing, guess what, guys? You do the little things. You focus on yourself and your family and the people around you, your partners, the people that are really there, seeing who you really are, not social media. The noise will come. And you do not have to do that and go tell people how great you're doing. The noise it's going to make noise. Everything that you do is going to make noise. So forget about all those likes and how many of these people got to follow me, all that stuff. Let's forget about that. Focus on the little things. Did you drink your water today, right? Like those are the little things. And guys, there's identical twins that don't have the same fingerprints. Like, think about that. Like, I just wanted to bring that up because people get so caught up in like, oh, were people gonna like me? Yes, they're gonna like you if you're being yourself. But if you're just faking the fun, guys, I've been doing this thing again. Shoot, man, I started rapping when I was 16 years old. I'm 35 now. And I've been putting myself out there since. There's people that have joined my mastermind that have made a comment of, you know what, I looked you up and I saw your interview from 2009 that you did with whatever. And guess what? That's the proof. That's what I was telling you guys earlier about. That's the stuff that people would trust, right? Like, and again, it's because I'm being myself. It's already out there. I'm not faking anything. Like, I'm literally not. Like, my name is Billy, guys. Like, my real name is Billy. But I also learned that you have to brand yourself, so I went with Billy the Kid because he was this Midwest dude that he killed a bunch of people. I'm killing beats, by the way, and I'm killing business. I'm not killing people. But Billy, my name is Billy. It's so important if you go with a personal brand name, and we'll see what he says, but Joe P. LFG, like that's one of my guys in the mastermind, guys, and I'm bragging right now about these guys. Joe P. LFG, let's freaking go. And he says that on his videos now, and you watch his videos, guess what? He owns a detail shop in Lincoln. This dude literally now, he does his videos on time like he's supposed to. We did the one-on-one coaching. Now this dude, like his brand alone, he's done some business off of those videos now. And again, that he's just being himself. He used Joe, his name is Joe, that's really his name. P is for his last name, initial for his last name, and then the LFG, he just added like,
We'll be right
Before
back.
we continue,
Go subscribe to Billy the Kid YouTube.
that is Billy, DHAKID.
Also, go follow Billy the Kid Music on Spotify
Pandora, Apple Music.
and everywhere else.
Music is available.
And now, back to this great episode. Let's go.
Hopping out the two, though, we're number 2, foe. Feel like Kobe, though I'm winning, need to do more. My mama sorry, college wasn't for me. Street smart, no degree, just like Kobe. Self-made boss with a suit like a mogul. I'm the new era, you see it on my logo.
So, Billy, I've been thinking a lot about doing a lot more of the social media on the platforms. Do you individually post the same thing, 6 different platforms or whatever you use, or do you use a software or a company to post it for you?
good question. So I schedule everything out. And I shouldn't say everything, most of the stuff. Like whenever the podcast, for example, gets released, it's scheduled a few days before, sometimes even months. Like right now I'm catching up, but you know, that's another thing. I think once you get to, so I love doing all this. So as of right now, I'm doing it. I have had people that will edit some of my stuff, some reels, some people that will make flyers for me, event videos, stuff. Again, do a mixture. The thing is, once you get to a certain point where you're like, you can start, like right now, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm mixing and matching. So I do have people that will edit some of my reels. And guys, like, you don't even have to hire like a big firm. There's things out there like Fiverr. You could go on Fiverr. You could, there's so many different things nowadays that honestly, there's no excuse. Matter of fact, if you don't have a editing software or just like even an app on your phone, which there's apps out there, guys, that you can edit with, literally you could edit on Instagram. Like there's no excuse. Like you could record yourself on Instagram or Facebook, and they have all these different features that you could do captions with, change your color. And guys, the video quality that we're getting nowadays, it's priceless. Like let's make money out of it. Let's take advantage of it. Let's take advantage of this technology. It's the same with like Chat GPT, which I don't want to get into too much with that, but I don't know if you guys saw, there was a post going viral, and it's funny because it's the stuff I've been asking my Chat GPT. I'm more like, hey, how can I lose 10 pounds? Hey, what is a good meal prep plan, right? Like, what can I do? Hey, how can I close a deal with real estate doing this? Or hey, like those are the questions, like use that to your advantage is all I'm saying. Use all the technology to your advantage. So, any other questions, guys?
Oh. So going back to you talking about being authentic and privacy, I know that me and you have had like conversations about it and just in general. I wanted you to touch on your vacation role that we both, how you put that on me and how it's a good thing, and explain what it is and why you feel it's important to do that.
I love that. This is my daughter, by the way, guys. I'm so proud of her. Just because, like, what I'm going to tell you guys, just remember the questions he asked, because there's not a lot of teens talking. Sometimes I'll post here and there on my story and stuff, but when you post on social media, a lot of people, if you're posting for the wrong reasons, a lot of people are looking for that, for like the messages, right? So now you're not enjoying that vacation that you are out there doing. It doesn't mean don't post, but again, being authentic, being yourself. So that's what she's talking about. We do that as a family. And again, it's not perfect. Like, there's slip-ups, there's times where we do post, but we also know that if we do post or something while we're out there, we're just gonna put our phone down. Sometimes it's funny, people will be like, hey, are you still in Florida or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh no, that was last month, I just posted a picture. Because again, I have control of my life. Like, that's the thing, is I'm posting what I want, but I'm also letting people decide what they want to decide. Like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that noise. I'm just posting, like, if I think whatever stupid thing look cool, I'm going to post that just because I think that, and I don't care what anybody else thinks at the end of the day. So, any other questions, guys?
Let's give it up for my man's Billy tonight. For some reason, it's still in the back of my head to do something like that because of my story, but I don't think I even have the ambition right now to do something like that, but I feel like you do. And I think that was the power of you coming here. And even a lot of individuals even here tonight that want to do more in real estate and want to, build a platform on social media. But you're not making those posts because you probably are thinking about the noise that Billy's talking about, or whatever the case is. I think, like, learning from you today, man, like, even for me, it's just like that doesn't even matter too much, you know?
Love it.
Because it's your goals. You're doing it for your daughters and your wife. And at the end of the day, you love doing what you do. So that combination right now, just right there, just kind of outweighs all the noise that you're talking about that can almost deter someone from, like, not wanting to do it. And what you do obviously isn't corporate. It ain't shiny. But dude, like, you're super successful at what you do. And
thank you, man.
Super productive. And every time I'm on Facebook, which is rare because I don't have much, the only time I'm on Facebook most times is to share a real estate meetup. And when I do get on there, Billy has 2 or 3 new posts or 3 new stories that he has. And I have to click that just to see what it is. But I do appreciate you, man, because for some reason I feel like this is one of the cooler meetups because of, I feel like everything you said makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Love it, man.
I don't want to put myself out there like that because of what people might think or what they might say, And but you, I feel like you don't care about that.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
I appreciate everyone for coming.
Who would be down to do that video? Raise your hand. If you're not, it's cool. All right, so we got one. Anybody else? Come on. Let's get uncomfortable. Like, power of being uncomfortable.
I might have to download my apps again.
Man, you got a video recorder on your phone, man.
Absolutely, man.
Who wants to join and do a quick video? All right, come on, Hal. Let's do it up here. You know what? We'll all 3 of us. Let's hit record on our phone and literally just say your name.
Hell,
like, what's that, guys?
Man here tonight. What's that? He's the most manly man in
I wouldn't go that far.
He does.
Let's go. Where's your phone, bro? Get your phone out, man. Let's go.
Hold on a second.
I'm gonna do mine real quick.
Video. Al doesn't know how to work it. I'm learning.
All right, guys. I'm out here in Omaha tonight. We just wrapped up the meetup. Shout out to Tyron. Shout out to everybody that came out. I appreciate it. Hal's getting uncomfortable right now. He's about to do a video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my podcast, baby. And that's how you promote. Let's go. $1 Million Hustle.
So I'll do the same thing?
Yes, sir.
I'm nervous as hell right now. This
He's getting uncomfortable.
But I'm with the man himself, Billy the Kid, Nino, with Hal Richardson here, brave guy here. I appreciate everyone for coming out to the Western Real Estate Meetup Group. Just truly a blessing.
See you guys
Everyone-
next month.
We have a lot of people here, intimate group here, whatever the case is, people still come. So I appreciate everyone for that.
Let's go. Woo! Let's go. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Just hit record. That's all. All right, where's yours? Let's go. Post it, bro. Post it.
All
Yeah.
right, hanging out here with the guys, hanging out with Billy, Tyron, rest of the group.
Let's go.
Check it out. Get some great promotional advice from Billy and getting uncomfortable.
Let's get
Check
it.
it out all. Later.
Look at that. Boom. Let's go.
It's crazy because I feel like I would never post something like that. But I think what Billy's saying, that's true, man. Sometimes you just gotta get, and when I say getting outside of your comfort zone, it's more like making cold calls or doing text or just going above and beyond what you think you can do. But it's more just like that other side that you don't want to bring out, and I think that's really cool, man.
That's the best
because I
way.
feel like I would never post something like that. I wouldn't just. I'm out here in Miami Beach, Florida. I just wouldn't do that. But I think just continuing to let people know who you are, what you're doing, become trustworthy. I think that's super cool.
And that was a great video, by the way. You better post that one, bro. And how too? That was good too.
Both of them through posting it, so they do.
There you go.
Mastermind, man. But I appreciate everyone coming out. Please remember, you get 10% off your tab. Sponsored by Barrel and Vine, Real Estate Wednesdays. And like usual, so I forgot.
All I was focused on was financial freedom. Thinking we're rich dad, poor dad, you better read 'em. Millionaire thinking, get a bag, big investments. Chase the bag, then I flip it, be relentless. Not worry about a football game score. Only my credit won what matters anymore. In the 3%, the other 97 drifting. Others do it for themselves, they not thinking. Think for yourself, get rich and build your wealth. Get a run, eat good, watch your health. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke. This free game to change your life, you better sow. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke. Spit some game, drop the mic after I spoke.